eyes on AT&T Stadium tonight. NFL fans with only one game to watch, and this is it. The Dallas Cowboys, the center of attention. Jerry Jones must be in heaven. The Larry O'Brien Trophy is in the house tonight here at the AAC. The Celtics hoping to hoist it. The Mavericks hoping it does not see the light of day on their home court in the hands of the opponent. All-Star Game Home Run Derby, bucket list item, check. Another thing that was really cool about the All-Star festivities here in Arlington, representation from all 30 teams. What is up, freebies? Welcome back to another episode of the Free For All podcast, back from our holiday hiatus, if you will. It just goes to show, all you need is a fraction of a chance to hit big, and the Dallas Mavericks hit as big as you can get. Cooper Flagg expected to be wearing that Mav uniform next year. Here's the Spark Notes. Jake Berger recently had a daughter born with Down syndrome. The clinical name for Down syndrome is trisomy 21. Jake Berger now wears number 21 out on the field, and he's really playing for his daughter this year. It's an incredible story. Still on his rookie deal in the prime of his career, shipped off to a conference rival. So, of course, fans here at AT&T Stadium tonight, they got to see Micah, but they got to see him in the green and yellow. Remember, he's wearing number 1 now. Northeastern just scored, so Midwestern trails 1-0. We'll have more on that game. Plus, one Dallas Cowboy signing a new contract, making him the richest player in the league at his position. All that and more next in sports. All right, we've got more high school football talk coming your way after this commercial break. We'll also dive into college football, the Midwestern State Mustangs on a little winning streak, and we'll talk some Dallas Cowboy football. Don't go anywhere before the lights rolls on right after this.
Now, sports with MJ Baird from the OSTC Sports Desk, your complete orthopedic team.
If you've ever been to a stadium on Friday nights, you know football is a game of sound. Coaches hollering, cheerleaders chanting, even the PA announcer describing the action. But what if the atmosphere were silent? Tonight, we shine our sports spotlight on 2 local athletes who are proving football is not just heard, it's felt. Helmets crash and the crowd roars, punctuated by a sharp whistle. Sounds which define football, a very immersive game.
1, 2, 3.
Now imagine it in silence.
I can't hear the ref, and I can't hear the whistle, so I've just got to watch the football. That's my only way. As soon as it goes down and I see the snap, I've got to be fast.
At Barwise Junior High, the Eagles are taught the game of football, but for some, the learning curve is quite steep.
I will say our students have their heads on a swivel because there's so much going on. They're constantly looking around just to find that next piece of information. You know, you can't afford to look up at the sky to watch that airplane because coach just explained how to snap the ball and you're not paying attention.
Beside every team huddle is one additional conversation.
We're running out of bodies.
A translation where eyes, hands, and faces provide context.
Every time a word comes out of my mouth, whether I mean it or not, I've been having to watch, make sure what I say, because it will be signed right behind me. But they're at every practice, they're at every game. The only reason they're not in the locker room is because they can't.
Carlos Chavira and Aarons Nelson are deaf, both offensive linemen on the 7th grade football team. Carlos wears cochlear implants, surgically installed, helping manage his hearing loss. But they cannot be worn under your typical football helmets. Aarons doesn't have the implants. He's nonverbal. Each player relying on sign language.
They used to teach me ASL because I couldn't hear, but now I got cochlears and they can teach me how to sign.
I started signing a long time ago when I was a kid. I didn't like the hearing aids. I couldn't understand when people were talking to me. I hated it. But when people signed, I could look at them and understand what they were saying.
Carlos is the center too, so I noticed the left guard there kind of tapping him to snap the ball. How did that come about?
It was just, okay, how is this person going to know when to snap the ball? Well, we'll have the person next to him who hears, let him know through touch.
Coach Murdoch has been amazing with them. He'll be talking and then he'll kind of stop and say, wait a second, let me turn. Interpreter, come on. Just setting that up instead of just, going about his day. They never forget that we're there.
Is he on your outside? Is he hit up?
Minor adjustments to the typical flow of football with major impacts, promoting inclusivity among the green and white.
In my opinion, they both do a good job of adapting to the hearing culture. I'm proud of them for getting involved. The Wichita Falls hearing community can be very limiting for those who are in the deaf community. I've seen them grow in football, but also as students, on and off the field. They are each becoming a better person all around.
Teacher to student, coach to player, peer to peer. Accessibility transcends within the Barwise community.
Sports is a unifier. That's why it's good to have in schools, because you have that unifying factor and you have people from different cultures, different backgrounds, and different situations come together and expose others to another way of life.
2 Barwise Eagles soaring past the silence.
That's it, good!
Proving the loudest thing in football is heart.
Go!
October is the 10th month of the year. We are in week 10 of the high school football season. And it's been 10 years since Iowa Park unretired its most meaningful number, 10. It isn't just a jersey, it's a part of Iowa Park's gridiron legacy. So when the Kelly Green and White take the field at Hawks Stadium, that jersey brings a smile to the face of those who knew the young man who wore it. Under the Friday night lights, numbers mean everything. Winners and losers decided on the scoreboard. But in Iowa Park, it's a number stitched onto a jersey, which means the most.
I think it's more than just who you are out there every Friday night. You're always being watched everywhere you go. It's about the person you are you making the right decisions, and are you holding everybody to a higher standard.
Late 90s Iowa Park football. Some of the program's best years since back-to-back state titles in '69 and '70. The Hawks soaring through consecutive 9-win seasons in '98 and '99, flying high on the wings of their seniors, including one teammate whose impact goes far beyond the field.
He wasn't the star of the team, and he didn't want that notoriety. He wanted to be a part of the group, but he was a leader.
We would spend the night at each other's house. We played the same position. And he was just one of those, happy-go-lucky guys that was always in a good mood.
The epitome of student athlete, Justin Denton exemplifies what it means to be a Hawk.
He was your typical big brother, right? I mean, always picking on us. He was a big follower in Christ, was number one in his life, and he let that be known. But he just did things right all the time, whether it's in school, in the public, on the football field, in the church, whatever it was, he always did the right things.
Justin was a smaller guy, but I think any coach up there, any teammate would say he was probably, you wouldn't think he was small by his attitude. You weren't going to undersize his heart, because that was, 10 times bigger than anybody else that ever put on a jersey up there.
That shining star that you kind of, as a coach, you get to have some kids like that. Passion for the game and a passion for his teammates, and if you would have cut him, he would have bled green.
Kelly Green and White, the school colors, Iowa Park's identity, a community which saw pride turn to pain in October of 2000 when a recent graduate died after complications from a wreck 25 years ago this month.
The accident happened here on a windy stretch of FM 367. 19-year-old Justin Denton was heading home. He had less than 2 miles to go when he lost control of his car.
I remember the night it happened. We were playing in Bridgeport.
Justin was in the hospital. We were told good news, and so they were like, hey, get out of the house, go, be a kid, so I was actually sitting out there that Friday night when we got the news at the stadium.
I can remember I was listening to the game on a radio. I was listening to the football game on the radio, and I could hear screams out of the press box. You could feel that something was off and something was wrong.
Obviously, the coach talks to the team, addresses the team after the game. All of our parents kind of gathered around the huddle as well, and that's when Coach Ellis said that we had lost a fellow Hawk that night.
Justin Denton wore number 10 during his days on the football field. He was a wingback in Coach Nelm's wing T offense. Gifted with intangibles, yet no five-star talent. There's question as to whether Justin ever scored a varsity touchdown. But the night he died, Justin did find the end zone. Doing so through his teammate, the latest Hawk to wear the number 10.
We went to Bridgeport. It was a good game. Late in the third, it was probably 8:45, 9 o'clock, and I did score a touchdown. The stars aligned that night. The same time he passed, we scored a touchdown.
From that night on, Justin's number 10 was retired. The uniform sitting idle for a decade and a half in his memory. Until 10 years ago.
Obviously, new coach coming in, I don't know the traditions, and first question is, why not? Why don't we have a number 10 jersey?
At the request of the Denton family, it was time to bring 10 back. An opportunity to keep Justin's memory alive through the next generation of Hawks. But that precious jersey isn't handed out to just anybody.
It's not about who won the state championship. It's not about a kid who was an all-state player. It's about a kid who grandered what we talk about every single day in every meeting.
Number 10 is more than just a number to me. It's a way to represent Justin and everything that he stood for.
To me, it's one of my greatest accomplishments. I am so proud that I was able to be a part of the tradition.
Getting to wear that jersey was honestly the best part of my senior year. It meant I was trusted to lead, to set the example, and to carry on something special.
Everything that we wear that jersey for and everything that Justin stood for is deeply rooted in Iowa Park football tradition.
Growing up, I lived next door actually to Kirby, and I remember his senior year, him kind of getting that jersey and everybody talking about it. Ever since then, I was just like, when I get a senior in high school, I was like, I want to wear that jersey.
It's become a symbol, something athletes strive for, not earned through stats, but by character. And the tradition doesn't stop here.
110%, no matter what. I try to steal that in my son, and he reminds me of Justin a lot because he kind of has the same attributes. So coming into his freshman year, he got to wear number 10, but I said, man, your senior year, don't expect this to be given to you for who you are. I don't want that, and I don't think he wants that either. He knows he has to work a little harder than everybody else, kind of like Justin did.
Just means a lot, being able to honor his legacy and knowing that he wore it, and it'll always be stuck with me. I've worn it since I was a kid, so every single time I see someone wearing 10, it just makes me think of him.
The uniform, treated with such reverence in Iowa Park, a jersey telling the story of the community.
We didn't want it to be just a gimmicky thing. We wanted to remember this is about, a kid that played here, and, you take a tragedy that the community embraces and remembers and make something special out of it. It's what I think makes Iowa Park a special place.
Number 10 never dies, and that every time that you see that, the thought of Justin comes back.
Him wearing number 10, I think that was pretty fitting, because you look at the way people say a 1 to 10, what are you? And he was a 10.
And long after the lights go out, number 10 still shines.